Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 417. Hopefully, you guys have had an amazing weekend. I'm working on a pretty good end of a tail weekend myself, looking to hang out with you guys for a bit. Today is Monday. No. I love on air. Welcome. Cheers, CJ. Voodoo Ultras. Andy, how you doing? My chat going in the right place today. Ill Juster, how you doing? Dan the Indoor Man, long time. Long time. Nice to see you, my friend. Hoping we'll get a few in here to conversate with. We all flower. Cheers. Good morning. Move that up. Back there. Move that there. It's a little better. What are you guys smoking on? Hopefully you guys didn't catch the brain fart at the beginning of the show. What is up, GMO? Cheers to you. How you doing this fine evening / morning? Little murk in the background. Man, I got a stiff ass neck today. Just can't get it dead neck to crack tonight. Smoking out a little bit of Tiger King myself. A little bit of whatever was on the tray as well. Cheers to you, Christopher 54. Who else we got in chat? I believe I've covered everybody. Trigger teeth. Arms. I know I just butchered that, and I am completely sour sugar, bruh. I'm smoking out some Tiger King. Drinking some ruby red grapefruit juice. Cheers to you guys. Whole song there, man. I gotta get my joint rolled, man. Gotta get my joint rolled. I wish I could read fresh French there, Christopher. I can read it, but I still don't know what it says. Merci beaucoup. Good morning, Stu Moo. How are you? It's fired me off. Flower says it's fired. Checking my stuff here. Sally Mander. Cheers. That's a new one. Pretty cool name right here. So, cheers to you. Howdy. Welcome, my friend. Sad that you kind of popped on while just me currently babbling. Hopefully you at least enjoy a little bit of mirth. This joint rolled up so I can at least be smoking with you guys. How was the beginning of your week? How has things gone? Was it a prosperous day? Hopefully. Back for 420, hopefully it'll be awesome. Get some rest if you're just falling out there, GMO. Thanks for popping in the beginning. I can't believe it. A little late on the comeback here. Get things getting started. Trying to work things out with one of the light companies here. Things aren't always perfect, right? What's up, Stinky Dinky? 420. Trying to work out the kinks for the Bloom Plus order there. All the regulars are probably like, man, fucking, he's never on time anymore. Got one of the Earth boxes reloaded and ready to go with the Alex Hardy gear. Board 13 in there. That one should blow up. I'm gonna give her just a few extra days to veg up. I might throw her under the 1,000 watt. We'll see how that goes. Here in a couple of days, we'll be down to just 2K. Man, that's gonna be weird. Gotta figure out where I'm gonna put those dinosaurs. Yeah. Gotta keep up with chat. God darn it, I'm on fucking top chat. No wonder I'm missing half the fun. $16 in chat. Pretty cool for only being on for 16 minutes. 4 awesome thumbs up. Pretty great to you guys. Love the support in this community. I really do. I wonder where Mr. Smiley was, or is, I should say. I meant to fucking text him earlier. I looked down to see if he fucking texted back, and I texted somebody else. I was like, oh, no wonder he didn't text back. I still didn't retext him, though. Got a little bit of work to do in the garden. Got to do a little bit of defoliating in the tent behind the camera there. Keep things going, man. Things are looking pretty good. Gonna be doing a little bit more updates on both Instagram and YouTube. What's going on in the garden? Man, it's a little awkward, man. It's been a long time since I've just kind of sat here and hung out, old subby style. It's not easy as to do as it used to be in the beginning. Oh. Good morning, Iceni. How are you doing? You guys got any music requests? Since we're just hanging out, listening to a little bit of music. And by the way, I guess I should throw this out there while it's just me, I guess. Just us. Yeah, I will be working with Bloom Plus, but Bloom Plus will not be plugged on the show. If it happens to come up in conversations, that's what it is. But it isn't going to be in the show title. I'm not going to be pushing no lights. There will not be no discount codes. The only thing different around here will be update videos in the garden from the Bloom Plus lights, but they will be separate short videos that will not be associated with the show. Headphones on here. You there, Mr. Red Pill?
Whoa.
There he is. What's up, Red Pill?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good, my friend. Let me shut this mark off. Boy, careful what you ask for. I asked for some requests in chat there. I look up what's the first fucking thing I see? Britney Spears. Hit me, baby, one more time. That'd be my
Mm,
first request for music.
saved by the red pill.
Thank you, Red Pill. Thank you.
Nothing against Britney Spears. Hey, free Britney, right? Hashtag free Britney.
Yeah, I don't think I need like a reaction style type video. I listened to Britney Spears live on
It might be funny for 15, 30 seconds, but the whole song would be grueling.
Yeah. Especially listening to it and staring at me. There's definitely
Mm-hmm. You gotta look away.
something, something's not right there.
That's how I would describe it. Not right.
What are you smoking on tonight, my friend?
Same old distillate right now. Just gathered a whole fat dab of it. Am I even on my screen?
Yeah.
It doesn't show my little corner icon there. Oh wait, now it's on the top. Zoom must have changed. Strange.
Nice. Clear.
Yeah. I noticed that too. Like when I get it, I guess I get it at like 2 ounces at a time. And then I like look through it and I'm like, man, that kind of looks dark. But then when it gets down to like sort of the end, it's almost so clear. It's really hard to tell when it's right at the bottom. There's, I don't know, a decent.
That's
This
a
is. There we go.
that's what definitely a baller bucket. Hell, I think they call it like the baller bucket around here, like a half ounce, but man, 2 ounce bucket. That's pretty baller. That's a nice jar of dabs there.
It would be even more baller if it was some live resin or some sauce or something. It gets a little plain, without flavor.
So, what would be your thoughts of like adding terps to that?
The whole thing is like the concentration. I don't know what the proper amount would be. I think I would try to replicate what you would get like on a normal test result for live resin. If you tested live resin and it was like 12% terpenes, then I'd probably add however much to this to make it that, I guess, because I wouldn't want to overdo it. Just putting pure terpenes into this. It's easier to add to it than to take away from it once you put it in there. Otherwise, you're just putting terpenes and distillate, and then more distillate and the terpenes. I wouldn't know how to dose it into, but yeah, I think I'd like it. Maybe even there's 2 ways I'd go about it. Is if I didn't mind adding a little bit extra THCA to it, I'd probably use the sauce fraction of like a live resin run, or if you're making diamonds, the non-diamond fraction of it, which is mostly terpenes, a little bit of THCA still put in there. But I've had that too. Like I've had pen cartridges that don't function, and it's a distillate with sauce added to it for terpenes. And I don't like the way that burns off, because the distillate kind of like dabs at a higher temperature than that sauce does. Like the difference between CA and THC makes it boil off at totally different temperatures.
I find almost, if I had to put like a number on it, I would say like 70% of the times that I see people complain of a bad cart, it's fucking user error. teaser. And by that I mean like there is like really somewhat of a trick to there. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
basically you have to let off that button if there's a button. A lot of them anymore don't have the button. But if you
Yeah,
hitting that button, you gotta let off a half a second prior to finishing up your hit. So you're
right.
drawing out all that oil out of the, where you suck it through
Right.
there, because that's what happens. A lot of people hit that button and they keep that
Clogs.
oil, yep,
Yeah.
and it clogs, it cools off and clogs.
Now, what I would do was I would try to teach my aunt to do what I was doing when she would get pens. And the battery or the pen was one of those ones that you turn on and off by hitting it 5 times. And I would try to show her what I mean by turning it on and off, like you're saying. And I would watch her, or I would let her watch me take a hit. I'd hold down on it, hit it for a few seconds, then let off, hold it down for a few seconds, then let off. But doing like what you're saying is I'm just getting it to the temperature that it vaporizes at and then letting off of it and then just inhaling through it like I'm clearing a bong or a rig. And then I would be like, okay, that's the best way to get a hit off of it. And then she'd be like, okay, I'll try it. And then she'd be like, I'm like, it turned off on me. Like, yeah, because you're just clicking it like 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 I don't know. But she would just rapid click it, like try to do what I'm doing, but quicker. Because in her mind, she's like, I don't got time for all that, just holding it down and breathing it in type shit. So she thought she was going to do the same thing, but do it faster to get it done with quicker. And every time she tries it, she just turns the pen off. Like, you got to be more patient. Take a few seconds to pull a long drag off of it. It's not like a cigarette. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still like on the fence about carts. You know, they're only I have like one floating around and I use it in a pinch. You know what I mean? I keep it around literally with them times where I'm like, oh man, I forgot to roll one. I want to sneak a hit it, a couple puffs before I go in somewhere. That's about the only thing I can use sometimes for. Just not the same buzz. Not even the same buzz from when they introduced. I'm almost, I've said a few times, man, they seemed like they were so much stronger, in the beginning. I can't help but maybe contribute some of that to maybe bad carts or, they were
Mhm.
just bad pen or bad cartridges. You know what I mean? They were the ignition system in them were kind of shitty and they had bad metals that seemed with
Mhm.
them, but I don't know. They used to fuck me up, man. Nowadays, man, the carts that I've gotten from at least the dispos or provisioning centers haven't been nearly as, you know, as strong as the other ones were. Well,
Mhm.
if it's maybe just more legalization, they've had to like double down.
Maybe for me, I can't enjoy it because I've overindulged on the dabs so much to where like I'm like just conventional, no matter what, even on the go. Put in a Pelican case and go. Got the torch, the rig, the nail, the little dark crystal cleaner, the Q-tips, all that. I'd rather just still dab how I do, but just take it with me. You know?
How much do you think that dabs have impacted you overall, as far as not just tolerance, but I'm really adamant about things we do to our bodies. I mean, the simplest things. If we change certain processes enough, things change in our body. Flat out. Nose sprays, you overdo it with the nose spray, fucking your nose will quit working properly, moisturizing itself correctly. fucking
Yeah.
tape your arm to your side for a month or two, and that fucker might just lock up on you as well. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
do you think that the intensity of the dabs has changed your body chemistry at all? Maybe like maybe even in humor or more anxiety or something slightly, different than you've noticed
Well,
than before dabs.
one thing I noticed, and this is I've recognized this, few people have this, and it was before I started dabbing, and it was just heavy burning weed consumption. But for me, I'm one of those people that the way my body works, unless I go through like an 18 to 24-hour period without weed, that in between time, like anytime I basically don't get hungry unless I force myself to have the munchies, which I've followed lots of different nutrition tips for a while. And a lot of people now are on intermittent fasting, and they don't mind going 12, 16, 18 hours between each meal. And there's different reasons and benefits for doing that, so people say, right? So now that I lived that life anyways, most of my life, that I can go like 18 hours without eating, and then I basically force myself to want to eat, or anyways, if I know I'm going to eat, I'll smoke before then, and then whatever, indulge in probably more food than I need. Or anyways, that's one thing I noticed. I could say it because like I said, if I go without or on a tolerance break, there's like an 18 or 24-hour period where like I'm like, the thought of like eating food is like kind of nauseous. So I'll go over like a whole day's worth of time until my body re-regulates, and then I actually get really hungry, or real hungry, and then I can eat normal. Then it's no big deal. But then there's other, I would say, benefits to it, where we'll go back and forth the conversation, but eventually I'll bring up what I ended up doing today. And I went for my eyeglasses exam, but in the time in doing so, I scheduled an appointment for my old glaucoma doctor that I had basically since childhood, uh, to get more exams done. But from there, I think the last time that I got a prescription filled for my eye drops was like 2017, like summer or fall of 2017. And in that in between time, I've basically, like I said, 95 to 98% of the time medicating on extracts, solvent based or distillate based. And I've basically sort of replaced 3 to 4 of my eye drops. I haven't taken a single eye drop since 2017. And I got my pressure taken today, and it's like within a tolerated zone. Like for like you, if you were going to get your eyes tested and you didn't have glaucoma, you're just coming in between the like 10, 11, 12, 13. You want it in the low teens is healthy. Me, really good on a good day with it not bothering me and like totally medicated. I'm going down as low as 15. And today I had a 25. So I would say that's a positive benefit. If the dabs can replace 4 different glaucoma medicines and still be at a healthy level, like it starts to get like you would want like medication or maybe surgery if it shoots past like 30 to 45. Like 30, you want to medicate with eye drops, and past 45, if it stays that long for a long period of time, you need like intervention through surgery to fix it. So for basically a 3 to 4 year period without eating a single eye drop or any surgery, I would say that's positive to doing that. And that's when I try to explain to people, like, at some point, flour doesn't get the job done because I'd have to sit there and smoke so much flour at a fast enough pace to try to combat the glaucoma, whereas a single dab kind of can keep it at bay immediately. So
What do you think that smoking something maybe in a halfway medium, like a crumble, would be something a little better, something with a little bit
Well,
more of the fats and lipids in it to help keep it in your system a little bit longer.
I'm actually in the other school of thought when it comes to fats and lipids. I know a lot of people think that in the flour they're beneficiary because they more act like an expectorant, and they try to like cough and get the contaminant and everything out of your lungs quicker. But to me, in extract form, I think it's more of I think it's actually better delivery if it's more concentrated, and that's the term that we use, obviously for concentrates. So actually, me, what I always told people would be going back and forth between a live resin and a distillate, or even just like isolated THCA or CBG or CBD. And I would even do it with 2 different rigs. Like say if I had 2 different rigs ready to go at the same time, which I don't right now, I would dedicate one to the isolates that I would do at little higher temperatures because I don't have to worry about wrecking the terps from it. And then I would do, more high terpene live resin or sauce dabs at lower temperatures. And I would just go back and forth and try to modulate and potentiate the high that I'm going after by supplementing THC on top of, or, other cannabinoids, getting a whole full spectrum effect, because the more concentrated the terpenes are and the more different cannabinoids you're doing, the more, entourage or ensemble effect that you're going to achieve. So there is, I guess, a method to the madness and how I ideally would medicate. I don't know if anyone wants to reverse engineer that. And if you don't have a reason to medicate, do that same thing and get high as fuck. I would imagine so. But yeah, I think in my lifetime, and I could even I could keep going and talking about like breeding too, and the difference in like what you're going to look for if you're a concentrate or a hash smoker versus flower smoker in like a breeding thing. So uh, in the long run, anyone looking for like good plants to extract would probably like to get seeds that I ended up breeding, because that's what I was looking for in the whole time. And the best taste, the most highest terpene concentrated plants and the highest yielding live resin extractions are going to be the ones kept around and bred together. So just making better plants for extraction.
High pain's a fucking crazy one to deal with. I mean, that comes with the pressure in your eyes, the headaches, and it just off balance, that vertigo feeling. And it's just so many things that man, for the cannabis to hit all those bases would be like a miracle. But like you said, though, I mean, four medicines eliminated. That's pretty awesome on itself, though, man. It's
And I would say
expense and wear on the body, because like we were talking about initially, even though you have a condition, by artificially introducing drops and other stuff, your body gets lazy. You know what I mean? It's just
for
so if
sure.
you could eliminate that and keep the natural systems going, I think
None
that's
of those
beneficial.
compounds are identical to something your brain produces. And I do have I guess I'll categorize it as a goal, but I do want to, because I obviously love extractions and the whole umbrella that's under with chemistry. But I do want to one day synthesize anandamide, a synthetic anandamide. And anandamide is your brain's endogenous cannabinoid. I've heard Skunk Man Sam talk about it. And when he made it, he realized that its best form to use it in is an eye drop, because he first thought like, oh, it's an isolate. I'm going to, mix it with hash and, smoke it like that. But it thermally, decomposes thermally. I forget what it turns into as a side reaction, but if you apply heat to anandamide, it totally wrecks it, and it doesn't. By the time you breathe it in or get it in your system, it's not anandamide anymore. So because it's water soluble, you figure out putting it in an eye drop, and then I couldn't get the whole documents, and it was like this is a really old ass hash church, like probably a couple hundred hash churches ago. But he was talking to Mark Scaldone, and then he was like, if you want, I'll send you the whole documents. But he basically over there in Holland made an anandamide glaucoma medication. And I don't know if any pharmaceutical companies make that and put that into drops. But what I would say is, I don't think, like I said, I think it's a testament and, I don't want to say anecdotal, but I could be used as an example, because if I was kind of fooling myself and THC wasn't really doing its job, then I would think because of me not taking my medicine, I would have had to have surgery. And then when I had my pressure taken today, it wouldn't be at a good number, right? If it really wasn't doing its job, they'd be like, oh my God, you're fucked right now. You got to go have surgery because you're not taking your medicine. But I have been medicating, and it has been doing its job. So I would want, and I hope I'm talking to people that are, on the fence about it, because, it's pretty highly suggestive, I would say, or a lot of evidence to prove its medicinal value.
Well, I understand just because of the circumstances that you're unable to cultivate now, which hinders a lot of your medicine. Fuck, out of pocket costs for fucking your meds. Can be just as bad as pharmaceuticals, damn near. Uh, like we're talking there, a couple grams of isolate can't be cheap by any means when you can be doing it, somewhat yourself, providing for yourself. But have you ever tried the approach of, like, say, uh, a double whammy, like edibles, a heavy dose of edibles, or, RSO or something to that effect on top of dabs to lessen, you know what I mean, the amount of dabs and just a constant relief?
I think if I could have enough constant activities and kind of have something to pass the time by, then yeah, then I would probably cut what I'm dabbing, in half, and then make edibles and just dab half as much, right? But I do like, in this particular case, distillate for that, because within a really good close ballpark how many milligrams per gram there is. Let's say if it's 97% in 1 gram, there's 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. So if it's 97%, there's 970 milligrams. Say, put that into a stick of butter, make a cookie recipe where every portion is 12 cookies, then you divide 970 by 12. There you go. Exact amount milligram dosage of those cookies are. And yeah, I like that. I like that idea of doing that. But I just kind of feel like if I were to do that, I'd kind of, I don't want to say be going through it quicker, but I would have, like, I don't know, the whole now I'm starting to think of it as like cigarette smoking. And now I like the ritual of just sitting down and dabbing and having it hit me in the face, like saying immediately, doing what I call chain dabbing, doing 2, 3, 4 dabs back to back to back to back,
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that to an extent. And it's a little more controlled now, pain stopped. I can stop dabbing, you know what I mean, versus, that steady all day lag. Sometimes you just don't need it. Sometimes you just don't need it. It can actually hinder the day, by in usually it's when you don't want it to come and you don't see it coming, you know what I mean? Shit, I got a lot of shit to do today. Then actually, you're like, Shit, where did my energy go, man? I shouldn't have smoked that other
And
joint.
that's the cultivating thing. That's one of the first things I think of is the more shit I have to do, the more I wish that I have active strains to smoke. And that's, I mean, you can't get shit done dabbing distillate or making distillate edibles. It's like pure couch lock indica central. You know what I mean? So I want something more uppy. I like that in weed. I don't like the couch lock thing because I'm someone that I'm whatever it is about me, I could be totally fine with just sitting in one spot until the whole fucking world ends. You know what I mean? So I want strains to actually make me get up and motivated to do something.
But for me, like I don't know, the same strains that would make me want to get up and do something are just the same thing. I tend to double up. I'm like, oh yeah, this one, I feel great. I'm gonna get some shit done, and then I fucking, you want to smoke another one? Yeah, why not? Why not? And fucking, you know what I mean? You double up, and
Yeah.
it's like, ow, fuck. I'm no longer energetic.
You know, I don't want to talk about more drugs, but we talk about microdosing a lot. You know, I don't do it currently, but I do want to give a little shout out if anyone knows what modafinil or Provigil is. That's really good stuff too. It's better than caffeine with less side effects. So that would have to be in my life too. You know, that's a pretty big motivator there. Are you familiar with that? Provigil, modafinil.
I am not. I am not.
Okay, so I think I may have heard of it some other place before listening to Joe Rogan. Of course, Joe Rogan turns a lot of people onto drugs, DMT, and this included. But I think I can't remember its origins, but the first thing I think of that I know that it has an origin in is the French military made it for basically like a stimulant to make something more like uh, to have better cognitive skills and to just be higher pace energy and like, you know, full of steam and not give out like crashes on sugar, caffeine. And it's at this point just a really hard medication to get your hands on unless you're into that culture that can get drugs really easy. But the only thing they really give it to you for as a prescription is narcolepsy medicine because it's basically a cure for cataplexy and narcolepsy, like people that, you know, fall asleep for no reason. This like prevents that. Like if in the same way that you see people that have seizures or kids that have seizures and they use CBD tinctures to reverse that, and they go from like 200 seizures a month to like one or two. In the same way as like narcolepsy episodes, if you had, you know, dozens or hundreds of them in a month, you might only have one or two with this Provigil. But it caught on to other people, like, you know, people are trying to do things like athletes or writers or, you know, any, you know, architect. uh, More people have been using it than the medicinal benefit it has. You know, like the, I don't want to say what's in between cure and miracle. I don't know, but it's actually a pharmaceutical that helps, you know, a certain ailment really good. You know, I mean, they're later and later on as we go, like more things get advanced and things that we thought were like incurable, we find medications for. This just happens to be really good for that, and it doesn't have a whole bunch of fucked up side effects. But the reason I like it is because that's what it reminds me of. The effect that it has is like a really good sativa high mixed with like the burst of caffeine from either coffee or an energy drink. It's coffee, or sorry, caffeine plus THC is the effect that it has. I like it. makes me more motivated to do things. And it's another thing too, is once you start doing things, you don't get pooped. It's not like, oh, I'm so tired or my back hurts from doing this. It's like, I don't mind doing this. It's fun. I can't wait till I finish it. It's like a little bit, it's not like Adderall or meth, but it does really make you want to get tasks done. So I'm not on any right now, by the way. I promise.
Shit
It does
anymore,
help
man.
you
It
though, man.
seems like anything like energy drinks,
Mhm.
caffeine, too much caffeine just seems to make me fucking tired anymore. It just fucking burns me right out.
I think I'm addicted. Like me, I'll get yawn attacks. That's my main thing, is because I thought of it as like, uh, I could maybe, I don't know what the very healthiest, way to consume caffeine is. I got soda, like fruity sodas that I drink that are high in caffeine. I'm a coffee drinker. And I just thought, like, there is actually less side effects to this. It's not even a pharmaceutical, it's technically a nootropic, you know what that term is. But it just has medicinal values and, very, whatever, particular circumstances. So I thought of it like, hey man, I don't want to fucking drink coffee, or I mean soda, just because I get the yawn attacks. Like if I don't drink soda, I'm so addicted to caffeine that every 3 seconds I'll fucking yawn, to the point where it feels like my jaw is gonna snap. I get cramps in my jaw because I'm yawning so much. That's
Well,
not good.
correct me wrong if I'm wrong, but caffeine is one of the weird stimulants because it works by just tricking your brain into thinking it's not tired. It's not something that actually, gets the
Mhm.
body up and moving. It more or
Yeah,
less just tricks the brain
I
into
don't.
thinking
That's what I mean.
it's just not tired.
I would be more comfortable with when you go to Bolivia or Colombia or other South American countries. They say it's for altitude sickness. If it helps that, I don't know. I don't really get altitude sickness. I lived in Colorado Springs for 7 years, 6, 7 years, 6,600 feet elevation. But when you go there, they give you either coca leaves, which is like, I don't know if I want to just chew on a whole bunch of leaves, but then they actually give you hard candies, coca leaf extract infused with hard candies, like a little lozenge. I kind of like that. I'd rather have a coca leaf hard candy than chugging soda. But
Especially today's soda with the fucking corn syrups and shit
yeah,
in
high
it.
fructose corn syrup. That's why I got the burritos right here. Remember, you said you had a bad experience with the Mexican sodas, cane sugar.
You know, it's just, and I didn't think I almost do it subconsciously. I haven't tried the Kraton either. I think I do it subconsciously. I drink a lot of juice, different types of juice. I'm not like any one brand or anything. But I always think it's funny, the one that's like geared towards like, children, the one you fucking give your kids and shit. I don't know what it is. It's fucking Juicy Juice, the Juicy Juice brand. Man, that shit, I can drink fucking any other brand. Doesn't bother me. If I fucking drink that Juicy Juice, man, that shit is like a fucking, it's like a cleanser, man. That shit just fucking cleans you right the fuck out. I'm like, man, what is in this shit we're feeding our kids and shit, man? They ain't right. It ain't right, but I still occasionally buy it. I got a fucking watermelon jug in there. I just bought the other day. I'm always fucking tracked by two yellow stickers, new or clearance. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, both of them get me.
yeah, yeah. Two juices have had a craving for lately is always liked cran apple, good cranberry apple. It's a good juice. And then pomegranate orange juice is good too. I could go crazy. I like carrot juice too. I don't know, I like juice. That's another thing. If I went full blown gardening, I don't know if I shared the channel with you. I shared it to a couple other people in the chat. Someone I met for a long time ago through some of these weed live streams, but Northwest Green Thumb, two twin brothers in Washington, they had 2 live streams per week, Weed Wednesday and High Noon Smokeout. And I met a fella on there, James Prigione, and he has a channel, the gardening channel. It's kind of generic. I think it's just the gardening channel, but it'll come up if you write James Prigione. But yeah, we hung out in the chat. You know, it's funny to think of his origin in a weed chat, and then right now he's got like one of the biggest food forest permaculture channels on YouTube. He's got real successful. Like 6-7 years ago, he started a little food forest in his backyard, and it's literally like out of control, like a jungle that you can't even see through, and every single plant's edible. Where did I bring that up from? Juices. Oh, sorry. If I got to that point, because I really like that idea too. Like I like raised beds, I like hugelkultur and all of those things. But the number one type of, I don't know, what do you want to call that? Horticulture, gardening, agrarian, food growing, you know, plants dedicated for food growing. The technique I like the most is permaculture or a food forest. So once that's achieved, all the different fruit trees and berry plants and all that kind of shit that I'm going to be making is going to be dedicated to lots of fruits and fruit extracts and jellies and wines and distilled wines and all that kind of shit. So.
What's up, dudes? What happened to you? You look different.
I looked a little different. Did I get my ears lowered?
Oh, do you have a shave?
A little shave, a little haircut. Yeah.
Okay. Just a
It'll
little
be 2
tidy
weeks
up.
until I have new glasses. I want to get new spectacles. And of course, I think I have buyer's remorse right away, and insurance is a bitch, and I'm gonna have to pay more money for the glasses I really like. But yeah, in the next 2 to 4 weeks, I'll have new spectacles as well.
Nice. Yeah. Different lenses or just different frames?
New prescription lenses. Eyes are getting worse, but oh well. But yeah, new frames too. And that's the thing I think I fucked up on. I didn't like any of the plastic frames because they didn't fit right on my head. So I just went with the best fitting wireframe one, but I don't think I'm going to like it. So I want the plastic ones, but they didn't have ones that fit on my wide head. So.
It don't really matter when you've worn them for a while. The hinges bend anyway. They just fucking fit.
Yeah, I just don't want that looking where I take the glasses off and I got indentations and that kind of fucking shit. That'd be.
I get that shit all the time, Red Pill. Yeah. I got a fucking indent right here. You can use the fucking camera. See that motherfucker right there on my nose? Permanent from fucking wearing glasses. Deviated septum from fucking wearing them things.
Right
so
there.
Many years.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I just hit that stage at 45 years old, and the optician even told me it was going to happen. She said, in a few years, your eyes are going to flip. You're going to, and it's just happened, and it's exactly like she said. My glasses are now completely fucking useless. So when I look close, I have to take them off, which is what they're for. But now I don't need glasses up close. And then if I need to watch stuff over there, it's completely, everything flipped, basically. And apparently it's totally normal for that to happen.
You know, what's funny is like naturally I'm near farsighted anyways, which is weird. And it's when you have seeing problems, if you can't see, everyone's like, here, let me hold it close up to you. And I always have to go, pull back away because like, no, don't put it up close just because I can't see good. I gotta like take 2 steps back to see it. Because right in front of my face, I can't, make out any text. It has to be.
I'm at that age where everything's now, okay, put it over there. Can you make it a bit brighter? I'm fucking,
Does that work with, say, people as well? You're like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, go stand back there. Yeah,
A
good
little
luck.
bit, yeah, it does. Like when I can notice people, I feel like when they get out of their car more like if they knock on the door and I just open it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Like if someone tapped on my shoulder and I just turned around, they're like, hey, I haven't seen you. I'm like, wait, I gotta like think of it, before I'd have to like, yeah, have a better picture of them. I'm very weird with that. I don't remember. A lot of people are either a face, they remember and recognize people from face, or they remember and recognize people by name. And I'm the weird type, and I recognize people through voice, which is, I don't know if that's unique to people that can't see good, but it's the voice recognition that I recognize people with. So, yeah.
I usually recognize them with their Instagram picture because I don't get out much.
I recognize plants by their Instagram pictures, like forum cookies back in the day. I could literally be scrolling. Oh, there goes forum cookies. Scrolling. Another forum cookies.
You pick one though where there wasn't much else like that at the time.
Yeah.
Like nuggy golf bally style.
Well, even thin mints too, like the long petioles, the long fan leaf branches. Like, well, that's a thin mint. That's a fucking thin mint. There's some of those cookie plants are just very photogenically recognizable.
Some good juice.
Oh.
Good juice right there. I need to roll me another one.
Still got that dab hanging here. The distillate dab I was doing the drip.
Coffee and juice. That's my shit. Well, you got some kombucha or some just regular juice.
No, it's just regular juice. Some ruby red grapefruit, local grocery store brand. Man, I am dead. This might sound fucking stupid. And as much as I have bitched about my fucking little hole in the wall grocery store, I'm super afraid I'm gonna lose that motherfucker, man. The next opportunity for food is 20 miles. 20
Whoa,
miles.
fucking hell, that's a 40-mile round trip, rude boy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And that's for anything. I mean, right now, got a little hardware.
Rolling papers.
It's quite the trip, man. Wintertime, that shit sucks, man. We get some nasty winter days, man. It's snowing, all day, 4 to 6 inches or some shit like that. That day, you don't want to go nowhere. You definitely don't want no fucking 40-mile trip. You know what I'm saying? But man, I've been in there, my local store, it's a chain store, but it's a fraction of the other stores. Like there's another one, like I'm saying, 20 miles, and there's another one, I think it's like 18 the other way. And they're both good sized stores. Mine's probably about half of what those are. I go into the other ones and I'm like, shit, they sell this. Look at all this. Man, look at all these choices and shit. And I've bitched about that before. But
You're
now
probably
that
going to buy all the same shit you normally buy though, because you're so used to it.
Right. Yeah, you're right there. Every time I've went in there, like the last month, easy. Them fucking people in there are stressed the fuck out, man. Just stressed the fuck out. They can't get nobody up here to work. There's actually like Dollar Trees and shit that are completely built, stocked that they can't even fucking open the doors open because they can't even get no fucking people to work. And even as I'm like standing in the grocery, I mean, there's this nice gentleman, and this is just 100% observation, but he seems like the type that could be still living at home, even though he's like my age. You know what I mean? I can honestly see him still like taking care of grandma. I mean, he actually tripped me out one day that I was in this line and he started talking about like going to see fucking Anthrax was the first one. He kept going to see. I'm like, really? Oh shit! It just surprised me. It's like, yeah, go and have some beers and go to fucking check it out. It'll be a good time. I knew things were bad, but I came into the store the other day and he was like, fuck it, I've had this shit. I mean, he was literally pacing in front of the door. He's like, man, I'm working 12-hour shifts when I'm working. I don't even like the shifts I'm working. I just can't take this shit anymore. And like all the regulars, everybody, the managers across the board are all gone. They've all taken different jobs and like, and the ones that are left are the people that are fucking don't even give a shit to begin with, man. The ones that are left are like the people that like, it's like 8:30, you know what I mean? 8:30, they close at 10. You walk in, they're like, you got an hour and a half to fucking do your shopping here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
be
don't want to
in and out.
move in. Yeah, I'm a dude.
Calm down, yeah.
Like,
Get the fuck out, Jesus.
I didn't bring a list.
I've even had the conversation with said person, like, hey, I'm sorry that you've got shit to do or you don't like to be here or whatever, but you know, store hours are until fucking 10 o'clock. If you don't want customers up until 10 o'clock, close the fucking store at 9:30. Make them, whatever. But until then, 10 o'clock is the time we have to come in and fucking get shit. You know what I mean? Don't fucking just start eyeballing me because I come in at fucking 9:30 to grab a thing of juice and shit. That's shitty for business in my opinion.
Yeah, I drove 20 miles for this bitch.
Yeah. I thank God, goodness you're open, but man, you ain't got to give me a guilt trip because I made it in. Cheers, CJ.
There's no 20 miles you can drive here without a shop.
I did that with, unfortunately, a fucking couple, like a gas station attendant at one point at the beginning of COVID. Just completely complaining about having no work and all this and that. I'm like, Chief, look at you, buddy. You get paid extra, way more than you ever have, and they're deeming you pretty much a fucking essential hero. When else is you gonna pull this card? Shut up and wear your hero chip badge and
You probably got
suck
free
it up.
Super Bowl tickets on the ride. Yeah. The frontline heroes,
Oh man, I got a lot of respect for all of them these days, though. Especially further into it,
Mm-hmm.
people that still got to mask up all day and all that stuff. Them long days, man. Well,
When you see the
people that
fucking
have-
delivery drivers and they can't even be bothered to take their mask off because they'll be pulling it back on again. They're in and out, in and out, in and out. So it's all day with the fucking mask on here. Fucking,
And again, I got it. When I talk about my local store, I guess I gotta state that these are the same cats that have been there through this whole said pandemic mess and shit that through the shortages have been through the stressful times and shit. I'm sure through this process,
Mm-hmm.
their jobs have been quite stressful.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I don't know.
I thought of this earlier, and
Simple thing.
I already forgot what song it was. It was like Bon Jovi or some shit, some 80s or 90s song. But it made me think. I barely ever. Well, I don't want to say barely ever, but I don't intentionally try to reflect on the situation that 100% of the world basically has all been enduring at the same time. But I thought of it like, man, we had it so good, man. Like it just made me, like appreciate time before this, So I just thought like, man, people would be all like at a giant concert and, getting all sloppy drunk and whatnot, no pandemic, and everyone goes home and they might have some other remorse, for actions that they did that night, but no one caught COVID and there wasn't a pandemic. So
It's weird. I don't feel at all like that. I feel like we got this opportunity to have a think about shit. Like, I mean, it hasn't touched me at all because I don't know anyone who's been properly ill with it. So I am isolated in that way. And also, I'm an isolated individual. But in a lot of ways, firstly, I have to say I'm pretty amazed that we kept the world turning. Like, everyone got food and all that shit. Like, we got a lot of reserves going on. There is a lot of fucking reserves.
There's two things I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just rambling. Come on.
Well, I want to say I do think that the side of that I'm grateful for, but then I also think that people should be more grateful for that because it's amazing that things didn't go as bad as they could have. Like there's a lot of people that they're in a situation where they could buy their kids a new PlayStation and occupy them, and they could be on unemployment. And
there was a situation back there where we didn't know if we were going to have paper to wipe our asses. I mean, it got bad. Like, fuck's sake. That's how stupid we are, for fuck's sake.
I don't bring it up. I don't bring it up a lot, but me and my dad did have COVID. He was in the hospital for 16 days, and all I had was a loss of sense of smell and taste. And I don't know if our friend Stony Rockefeller's in chat to hear this, but I do feel a lot for him that he said his dad was lost to COVID, because literally like 4 or 5 days into my dad being in the hospital, I had to think of that. Like that's when it got real for me. And that was very in the beginning. It was like in May of 2020, and it was in a time where there were still people, saying that there's no such thing and it's just a flu. And then I was thinking like, yeah, well, I'm about to lose my dad because of it. So it made me think of it a whole lot more serious. So
my father was chalked up technically to COVID. When if you look at his thing, but I'm here to tell you, I'm not a doctor, but he had shitty health before COVID. I mean, he had to go have his throat stretched every so often to help him eat and shit like that, So
you'll know what MRSI is. That hospital disease. You go. It's from MRSI. It's from dirty hospitals. Like a lot of people die from that.
It's like incurable staph.
Right. It only exists in hospitals, right? And a lot of people die from it, but you don't go on your deathbed if it was that. But that is what killed you. But then suddenly we do that for COVID. It's like, I was here because I was nearly dead, and then COVID finished me off, and then it has to go down as anyway. I don't even want to get into this, but
my bad. That's my fault.
It's been, from the safety of my own home, it's been interesting and perplexing to see how organized we were and are, and actually it's been interesting how many people's jobs are not at all important. All you people selling shit that we don't need, you're doing jobs that just you created your own job and you're saying, you know, all that plastic shit from China, we don't need that much of that, really. Lots of things have occurred because lots of thoughts have occurred because of this situation,
brother.
right?
And I went to Taco Bell fucking like 3 days ago. And it's again, shout out to, I guess, because of what I seen there. The workers, I guess it was terrible. But as I pull up, as I'm pulling up rather to order, there's a sign there. It says, "Please be patient with our staff. They work, 60 to 70 hours a week because of lack of people that want to work." I mean, it's really that bad. It does. It kind of makes me a little bit unnerving because, man, a lot of the fast food restaurants around, at least up here, I'm sure it's because they're major chains. It's everywhere. Uh, Pay by the day. God, that I guess it's a blessing for some, but the fact of somebody just passing through town and wanting to make my burger for the day and then be out, you know what I mean, kind of troubles me a bit. I don't know. I just want somebody that's gonna be there for a week or two.
Did you do all the hygiene stuff? Did you make sure not from the last place, from this place?
Hey, no, but that's the thing. I've had situations prior to all this that, well, it's appealed to me for a long time, but I had instincts to prep for other reasons, non-related to COVID, and I didn't do it. And then when it happened, I was thinking like, ooh, that was like a sixth sense because it was totally unrelated, but I would have been perfectly set up in this situation, or at least the transfer of when it first happened and hit. But I think of that more too. Like that's part of my ideal situation of being having my own little bit of land, a little permaculture, doing enough to have a freezer full of meat, whether it be through
this
trade.
is the shit I'm talking about. These are the kinds of conversations, right? They're much more in the forefront now.
Dude, I want to, when shit hits the fan, I want to be watching the news on my phone because I'm tuned into some fucking balloon satellite, and I want to be eating my own fresh cooked burgers at home, watching people panic going to the store,
Get guns,
of course, America, USA, baby. I already beat a federal gun charge. I'm down. So let's do it. AR-15s all around.
For everyone.
Even the babies. I want to see a toddler. I want to see a 4-year-old dual wielding a shotgun. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Oh, we did get a little extreme there, but that is more how I would like to believe that's more how life should be led, like small holdings rather than let's all live on top of each other and have a shitload of shops that we no longer use because Amazon brings everything.
We could sort of hold that's a whole nother wormhole or topic wheel conversation, but that's a whole other thing when people talk about overpopulation and scarcity and not enough room. I've disregarded that totally. And it's a way of habit and life that we're not living. And there's plenty enough square footage and square mileage and square yardage and acreage and all that. Everyone in their family could literally, like right now with 7 billion people, have like 9 or 10 acres of land, right?
We're like 70 million people living in a tiny area. It is absolutely ridiculous. Like, can you all fuck off? Stop having children. Can we go live in Spain? Let's go live in Spain. Come on.
So if everyone wasn't dependent on a grocery store and had their own rabbits, chickens, goats, ducks, maybe a couple of cattle, and then a nice permaculture food forest, you'd have more food, you'd yield more food per day than you can even eat or gorge on. So then that has to go to someone, that has without, it's a very simple thing, just you share what you can't consume. So, sorry, go ahead.
Totally spaced off what I was going to say, to be honest with you. Totally squirreled that.
Something about firearms, maybe?
No, come on.
No, not so big into firearms.
70 million people, no having babies. Which one was it? Something had to be a spark on.
Yeah, that's where I was. Yeah, I don't know where he went from there, but our bit of land is too small, considering there's vast bits of land that aren't being used. We're not, we're not smart about how we. But you can't. It's too difficult.
It was totally unrelated, but I remember. I fucking bought some vegetables, starter plants. A week or so ago, some squash, some peppers, fucking couple
Wicked.
tomato plants, not a garden plot, but so they've been sitting out there in their like little containers that I bought them in for the week or so, and so I've been out there watering them daily, some of the times, a couple of times daily. When last week when it was really hot, but man, I had some old soil. It wasn't the cocoa, it was soil. You know what I mean? It was actually, I think, some of the M3 mix. And fucking dug it right next to where the cannabis plant was. It dropped in some, what was it? The squash plants. 2 yellow squash. And them fuckers, man, I fucking said today, I think them leaves widen up like fucking 2 inches since this morning. I swear they did. I mean, I know it seems like maybe impossible, but man, it seemed like when I put them in there, they were like kind of wilted. And then I walked by, they were like, I was like, no shit. I was like, there's definitely some extra leftover shit in that pot. You know what I mean? That plant didn't deplete that fucker. Not if
But also, it's so fucking glad to have some more root space. It's like, yeah, go fucking hard.
I'm sure that
could be a lot of things. Water retention, a lot of stuff. Yeah,
that's wicked. This time of year you can watch plants grow, man. Fucking hell! I have sat on my deck sunbathing and been like, I'm sure that leaf wasn't there this morning. I love that shit.
I actually miss the garden. I used to have keep a decent sized garden. And it was what, 8 feet by fucking 40. Nice little stretch along the fence there. Had a privacy fence, and then I came out like 8 to 10 feet, and then along whole entire run of the fence. And man, it always did well. Peppers, tomatoes. Like fucking green beans are amazing, fresh out of the garden. I don't even necessarily like to eat them. I just like to stamp them off and eat them right there while I'm in the garden.
It's really difficult for us to get stuff to the kitchen, mate. We make a lot of fruit, we make a lot of beans, stuff like that. It's very difficult to get it to the kitchen, dude. When you've got a child and you yourself, but that's the beauty. That's it's all getting consumed, isn't it?
I made one of my favorite
1840.
Yeah, and it was an 8 by 40 little stretch of garden there. But made one of my favorite summertime dishes yesterday, the day before, and that's just cucumbers, vinegar, and in this case it was like sliced red onion, and just kind of like sitting in it like a brine all day. Little garlic, little pepper, a little bit of salt. Just walk by, grab some. Oh, so good, so good. Just keep adding to it for like a day.
You could eat that on crackers or anything, man. Eat it like hummus. That'd be nice.
Hummus is good. I enjoy that shit as well.
Yeah, we eat that a lot. Yeah, all that nice summer food.
I got me a nice little pinch bar or so there. I think I got 9 grams.
What are you talking about?
The RSO that I boiled down yesterday.
Oh, nice. That's a nice result then.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to hash up, but it is way too hot for that here right now. I'm gonna wait till next week, but I need some dabs.
Shit, man. Let me see if I can bring it up.
We got picture.
It's the temperatures for this fucking week. Remember, I was telling you guys that about the forecast. Let's see if I can call it the city there. Oh,
It's gone.
see them lows right there? There you go. That's the temperatures for this week.
Wow, 42, 43 low.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I see that shit. I'm like, man, I'm so glad I didn't put in the fucking air conditioners, man. I don't need that shit at night when it's fucking 40 degrees up here, man. I'm shutting off the long room at that point, just kind of like letting it just kind of naturally draw.
Well, interestingly that you bring this up, my aircon is being a dick, and I've actually put my lung room. It also has an intake and outtake. It's too hot at the moment, so I am still using the air conditioner. But for me, it's going to be the same realistically. Most of the time, it's below 20 degrees C here, and I only need the lung room to be 20 C. Now, obviously, I won't do it during the height of flower because I use a lot of CO2, so I can add temperatures and so on. But to have that option now, definitely a smart thing because, like you, my nighttime temps they're always going to be low apart from like 3 months of the year. So it made sense to have the option.
Right now, 495 ppm in the room, not necessarily in the tents, but in the room. 495 ambient CO2 without putting anything in the room.
It's pretty universal. When you read it somewhere, you can fairly well assume it's everywhere, man. I know there's the high-low thing, and that mostly it's everywhere, dude. For real.
Depending on time of day, I've noticed that the LEDs, when the LED side of things are pumping, they definitely use more ppm than when the HPS side of things are running. There's definitely that ups and downs. It's not a steady. It definitely goes up and down.
I wonder if that's temperature related. Like the uptake. So when the stome is open, they can take more because the LED rooms are a different temp. Should be warmer, not necessarily in your garden though.
Well, it's pretty constant. You know what I mean? The temperature in this room stays pretty constant throughout the day.
But it might suit the LED more, or it might suit so the stome is open, so it takes more CO2. Not that whether the temperature's changing, just whether it's more suited to one or the other. Interesting. You must be more and more LED now, though.
Yeah, and by the time I, get these new lights in, from Bloom, I don't even like saying it. It's gonna get to the point where I'm not even gonna like talking about it on the show. It's gonna be like a whole separate. I'm gonna go like out of my way to keep that shit separate. To be honest with you,
totally no problem. I understand. It's cool. People will appreciate that as well, I think.
by the time that goes down, though, yeah, I'm gonna be only down to the 2K here with the HPS, man. And ultimately, even at the because they're running 220 now, so you're talking what about 9.5 amps per ballast there, and I'll be dropping that down to probably 7 or 8 amps when that tent right there would be normally pulling 18. You know what I mean? That's gonna
That'll
be
make
nice.
that'll show, mate. That will definitely, yeah. I mean, that's like an extra Z or two every run, probably, as in
But man,
financially speaking.
But man, I'm thinking about it like I've always been that way, like with my business, to where like if I'm operating on a budget and I can cut some corners and I see a little bit extra, I'm like, oh, I can put that back in. You know what I mean? I can, update some equipment. And that's what I see when I see that power free up. I'm like, oh, I could
Extra
run a
room.
couple more lights. Yeah,
Mm.
that's a couple more lights I could run there without any shit. Even if they were like LED, shit, I could double the. Like we're saying, there's 2K running there now. I put two LED fixtures up in that same area now. Dropped half the amps or less. 7. That's what I figure they'll be somewhere around 7 amps. Even if I were to double that space, 2 more lights, that's still 14 amps. Fuck, I'm still under 4. I'm still 4 under what I was running. You know what I mean? In the originally, I'm
You just
still
think about
fucking saving.
just adding canopy space, basically.
And doubling the canopy space is what it would be in a room, basically. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not mentioning it, but I bought a new light yesterday. Which is something I like.
What'd you get?
So I bought an Invisible Sun. Do you know them? It's a UK company.
Yeah,
They do a lot. They do a lot of stuff with the Grow Room 420 guys. And like this year, because of Brexit and a bunch of stuff, I'm trying to buy British. So 2.6 U-moles per joule, 320 watt to fit in the center of. I'm just rejigging one room. I rarely take lights out of a room. I just tend to add them, and so it's just adding into my long room. But I'm trying to get as much as I can out of one space, and I think I can do better. So I'm giving it a go. Yeah, but it's a strong light, really good.
So, any thoughts? How you gonna? Is it gonna be a flower light, or are you gonna use it as a veg?
It's definitely a flower light. However, because it's also got in the 730, so it should be like quite quick cycle as well. But all my lights have to do a bit of vegging because of the beds. So when the plants go in, they have to veg in there a bit. The next time I run that room, I'll be back to running large plant count, less veg time. I've done a bit of the artistry stuff, creating those big bridges and stuff, but now I'm going back to go, stop, done. Because a lot of it is keeping plant health for like 3 months it's an art, and it's a balancing act. You've got to be very careful. Can't be too rough.
It's a very good point that I've never even considered, to be honest with you. The extra time of plant health, basically keeping it alive, keeping it healthy. I've never even considered that, to be honest with you. I've always just looked at it as part of the system.
Yeah, because you can hold back a plant in a veg, in a where you can move pots around. It's like that one ain't coming. I burnt that one. You can't do that with this. It's like everyone's along for the ride once the ride starts.
I'm actually glad that this leads into a question that I was wondering. And what do you think of growing in indoor beds? for dedicated veg for mothers, and particularly taking clones off those mothers air layer style. So taking advantage of having the soil recycle itself with, you know, the worms, that the cover, and maybe avocados if you're fancy or whatever. But I want to have my mothers in a living bed that I don't have to replace the soil, or, you know, up pot basically. And I'm not going to be greedy with cuts, trying to get like 20 clones off one mother. Maybe just doing 2 or 3 air layer clones off a nice bush to help top it and regulate its canopy.
It's an amazing idea. It's an amazing idea. You should definitely do it. I totally have considered it. Here's the problem, and be honest with yourself. When you've run it 2 or 3 times, you're done with it. So why did you put it in a bed? Like, you just strapped yourself down.
No.
I know.
I thought of that.
And also, wait. Let me finish up. You're also like, I'll take 2, 3 clones. You won't be editing. You'll have to cut it fucking way back all the time, because it'll be super vigorous and its health will suffer badly if you turn it into a tree. So it's kind of very kind to do what you're suggesting, but it's not very kind to you, because everything becomes rooted to one fucking place. It's kind of unnecessary.
I'll hedge a plant if I need to. Like you're saying, if the plant is growing at a faster rate than I actually need clones, then it's just going to get hedged, or, you know, heavy topped. And then 2, I don't know if this is wrong, but if in a super healthy bed situation, you can take that plant up by its root ball and directly plant new plants right into that hole, right? So say, hey, you know, this.
I'll answer your question. I definitely think it's a good idea. I would steer away from it being a bed. Go for a big pot, and then you can still move it if you need to. And more than anything, turn it. Plants in beds become corner plants or middle plants, and they grow that way because they'll never be fucking turned. And you have to treat them that way and aim them that way. Well, the corner ones are shitty. You're just filling space. So there are lovely things about beds, and there are very unideal things about beds. And if I had to do this all over again and redesign my room, I'd have to think twice about beds. However, it's idealistic, and I like being idealistic. It's quite a fucking pain in the ass.
You see, that's why I think you need crazy people like me, because I was thinking the opposite. Like, I was getting carried away with this idea of having raised beds for mothers. And where was I going to put those air layered clones? Not into a bed in flower, in a flower cycle, but into a pot. Why would you do that? Why would you take plant cuttings from bed grown plants and then put them in a pot? You know?
You kind of lost me at, you know, when I think of the term mother plant, I did something that's going to be around for a long period of time. It's going to be nothing but a mother. It's going to veg. But in the scenario you're laying out there, to where you're going to put it in a bed and only take a couple of fucking cuts off it, like Green 13 stating, man, that thing is gonna be a fucking tree in no time, and it's gonna be a bigger hassle. I mean, more often, you should just take the term out of it, you know, mother, and you're just gonna take your cuttings from it. Basically, you're gonna put it in that bed. As soon as, you know, it gets to be a decent size, you're gonna air layer your clones and then put that bitch into flower, and then maybe put those air layer clones into some another bed and start, you know, a different area.
Your
or
mom?
You're gonna put them into a pot. Yeah, them are basically be your moms. You know, to think that you're gonna put that girl into a bed like that and keep her as a mom.
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
it's
I'm
too big, too girthy. I had to actually think too. And again, you're risking a slower clone time later on. I mean, as she gets bigger and that thing gets more woodier, man, it's going to be tougher and tougher to get good clones out of that woodier stock. That's for sure. It's going to
I would definitely say so with conventional clones. I would definitely say that so with conventional clones, but because air layer is like the preferred way to get clones off, apple trees or avocado trees, that's how, you don't got to wait for a seed fruit tree to take X amount of years to go. You can get the air layered clone, and that's all on woody stem material. So,
but that's completely different scenarios, man. We're talking on a fruit tree. Even like I go out buy a sapling from tractor trailers.
It's a perennial for a start.
Yeah, it's gonna wait 5 years. I can see in that instance, a reason to air layer and rush up my fruiting supply. You know what I mean? Be able to get something from it. But this is fucking cannabis. You know what I mean? There's no reason. You know what I mean? You're not waiting for production. Fuck, you can flip a seedling. Once it gets to a certain stage, it'll fruit. It will fruit. You know what I mean? You're not going to have to wait another 5 years. You're going to get some fruit off it.
Well, I know you're not going to
you're
have to wait
talking
5
about
years
that sapling. You're fucking 5 years down the road. There's no fucking.
Turning
I don't
back.
I don't want to bring the conversation full circle, but what if because of my disability, I feel more comfortable taking air layered because I get poor success taking shitty clones conventionally in an arrow or a cube situation.
Here is another spanner for your works though. If you keep that mother and you always keep it in the same veg tent and you never cycle it out, you didn't learn anything from your room. So if I take it, flower it, or make another mum, and each time it's had a flower cycle through it, then the plants become a chemovar, really. It knows my room, it knows how long I run and all that stuff. And so I can keep carrying that down. If you've got it stuck in a bed, it kind of becomes it's still that same plant. It never really changed, potentially.
I mean, I can see the number one thing where I can kind of see you guys are gonna already predicting a problem, the very first problem to run into.
Sorry for ganging up on you. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Well, I agree when you guys are saying I'm gonna have a problem with the plants overgrowing, but I don't necessarily agree with saying it's a bad source of where to take clones from. That's kind of
I'm
where
not saying it's
origin
a
idea.
bad source. I'm kind of saying it's
less ideal,
wasted resource. You know what I mean? I don't think you may get a bigger plant out of it. I mean, how much of that are you trying to take a whole branch to where you're taking a half a plant and putting it into something else? And
no. I guess you're going to need more examples to exactly see how I'm thinking of it. But I'm going to manipulate the plant still. It still grows in its environment of doing bending, topping, defoliating, taking air layered clones, just chopping tops off, lollipopping. But my whole idea was that this is my idea, like I'm saying, is building an environment that beds are best suited for kind of suits vegetative growth in my mind more than flowering growth, the way I have an ideal control on my environment, where I like to run flower rooms that are cooler and drier, where I see better vegetative growth with things that are more warmer, more humid, more CO2, that kind of thing.
again,
taking advantage of the hours of the light.
I can't even see it. I can't even see it. It's at some point I could red pill, but you're talking to me, the only benefit I could see out of the air layer process is I would be eliminating an area. I'd be eliminating that light. I'd be eliminating them cloners. You know what I mean? And I would, but the way you're talking, you still got that light and a set of plants under there to where, you know, and they're there. They're your dedicated mothers.
Okay.
They're always going to be there to where now, if I'm thinking of, you know, an air layer plus, it's just in the veg. You know what I mean? It's just part of the system. And I've seen this area. Hell, maybe I've got twice as many plants now, but they're air layering. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
right before I flip them, it's chop, chop, and I'm dropping them in the dirt,
Well,
taking
that
these places. But again, I've eliminated the cost of the cloner and the extra
yeah,
space of the light
yeah,
and doubled my production. But that's, you
right.
know, to actually have
Yeah,
mothers under a light and air flowing
yeah.
under them and keep that.
And
That's
I shouldn't say that these are permanent mothers. A lot of like what you're saying is maximizing production out of low plant counts. And the way I'm thinking of it is doing pheno hunts through, you know, packs of seeds. And instead of having like, well, I don't know what I'm going to breed with, so I have to take multiple clones to make sure, you know, I got to take 3-4 clones to make sure I got a 99 or whatever percent chance of getting a clone of each seedling I started, no matter if it's a male or female. So my way of thinking is that
again,
instead of
you know,
doing that, I can just take one air layered clone off a mother, to put that air layered clone into flower, and then, you know, X amount of weeks before I figure out if it's a male or a female. And that's the thing, if it's a male, then it just is as simple as uprooting that plant and putting a new seedling in there. You know what I mean? Because it's a bed. If it's a functioning bed, I shouldn't have a problem replacing plants in the same plant sites that it came from. So my
but
way
I
even
of,
love
at
to
that,
see your big pots, man. That's the wickedest thing about your garden. Sorry.
oh, even at that though, red pill, fuck with these are like ready to go. Any one of these plants, I could fucking take 9, 10 clones off of. I could take that top right there, you know, reach over, I could cut this. I got 1, 2. I could probably squeeze another one off there. Hell, I'd even cut them like that right there in half. You know what I mean? To where the top's gone and you've just got so much of the stem and a little side branch off it. Them
yeah,
things will bonsai right the fuck up. I mean, they make beautiful clones when you chop them like that. But you
Well, you
know,
talk about a long stem that you just half, yeah?
yeah. Not
Wicked.
even
Yeah.
have a tap to it, just
Mm,
stem and like a node with a start to it. Them
yeah.
things will bonsai like crazy. Beautiful plants like that.
the thing I'm thinking of is I guess I'd have to like draw or like illustrate or like show a little blueprint of how I'd want the veg room and the beds to be set up and where I want those clones taken off those plants to go to be pheno tested, right? So
Where we're at cross purposes is you've got a complete boutique head on here in my mind. You're thinking, what's the most lovely, beautiful way to do this to get a few things for my, you know, and I bet we're thinking, how can you maximize the maximum to maximum? Is that right?
well, my idea of maximizing, which is unappealing to me, would just be monocropping a fucking, you know, whatever 100 light or 10 light room, whatever you're dealing with. So I'm not even going to get to that point. If I had a perfect ideal setup, I would actually have one big veg room, like I'm saying, that's dedicated only to mother plants. Technically,
A library.
Yeah, a library in beds, I would have to say. And anytime I want to take a plant and put it in the flower, take it in an air layer, and that would have flower room A. And flower room A would be the pheno testing room. But flower room B would be this is the room that I have a whole quadrant or a whole light dedicated to one cut, you know, or something like that. So I'm I don't know. But a lot of it had to do with, like I'm saying, there's nothing. I have no negative things to say about how healthy and how good of living soil you can have, and how little amendments you have to use if it's ideally set up. How many cycles you can do. So I think of like if you can do X amount of cycles through flower, and the plants have, I would say, a more demand for nutrients in flower than they do veg. So throwing those plants and kind of letting them grow perpetually vegetative, because, you know, there's no really end? What's to say a plant stops growing if it has enough space to look for water, enough nutrients? Plant can vegetate.
There's a
18 feet
thing where
tall.
you trim these guys back, and then there's an imbalance between how big the roots are and how big the plants are. So there's a weird bit there where the plant will start to get rid of some of its roots because of the auxins balancing, and so actually that chopping back that plant but not digging it up is a weird deal.
So that's what I mean. I would have a lot of people disregard this too, and they think there's some type of problem with taking a clone of a clone of a clone with a mother. Right. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. So like I'm saying, once things get out of hand.
Not unless she's sick.
I think we're past that.
Sick
Right.
at some point. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If I'm growing some kick-ass like Jurassic plants that are exploding in veg, let's say, plant just gets too big for its space. So one out of the two plants or the air layer clones I'm taking goes to replace that mom. I just uproot it and put that air layer clone right in it. And the other one I put in a flower. Still got the same variety growing as the new mom. And I get to flower it to see what it's worth.
I took a bunch of those sangria clones out of my cloner. I only need one, but they all successfully clone because it's fucking voracious. And so I took all these solo cups and just chucked them outside. It's been blazing outside, but my veg room is perfect. Just so you know, perfect. Which ones do you think about? The one I kept, which was the best of them. Let me take this best one and keep that in my beautiful LED room. We chuck this shit outside. All the ones outside. Shit on the one that's inside right now.
Way darker green, aren't they?
See, but now I'm thinking there just has to be something to everyone's circumstance, because the particular times that I thought I had the best plants that went into flower were a particular almost like year-long phase in my veg garden where I swear to God, there was no like more than 3-degree shift of temperature. It was only like ever 75 at a low or 78 at a high. So for whatever reason, that stable of a veg environment, I felt made better finishing flowered plants, or plants that were less picky or more resilient to whatever was going to happen in flower. If it had a 10 degrees shift in temperature, 15 degrees, shift in percentage of humidity day and night.
As far as that goes, Red Pill, I'll go on the record to say, kind of combining both of what you guys were talking about there, man. You can take a clone that you think that has drifted a little bit, which, and again, I think that drift's kind of bullshit, to be honest with you. You may lose a little vigor in time, but as far as drift,
yeah, there's no way that
you're
that was
taking
real.
from sick plant to sick plant. And I'm even on the record to say, if you take that plant that you think has drifted and put that girl outside for a month or two, that natural sun, the fucking will bring that girl right back. You can, take some cuts off of her and bring her right back inside, and she'll be everything. It almost restores the vigor. I can't say that as much as I can say that it'll bring back as the drift itself. But man, I'd like to say that I can almost certainly say it will restore a lot of the vigor as well.
I'm gonna take you there. I've currently done this, and I routinely do this, and you and I have talked about this before anyway. I've got a green gelato, amazing, the most vigorous plant I ever had. I ruined it. I got it sick, and then I cloned it, and I pushed it, and then it got spider mites like 5 times, and this one plant just got wrecked. And the plant's actually woody and fucking horrible, like you were talking about. Stuck it outside at the beginning of the year in some awful weather, because I was like, I actually just want to kill the spider mites, and it's so cold outside, it'll piss them off till they move on. Like February, March, horrible weather. That plant managed to stay alive I up potted it into some of my own worm castings. It is so vigorous. It's in veg and it stinks. Every time you touch it, it stinks. Full leaf shape, full vigor. It's as tall as the room, up into the light at like 500 ppm in veg. Crazy. Stinks.
You did your spider mite treatment. What I suggest to Canadians or cold weather climate people that grow indoors. And a lot of people don't take me up on this, but I'm like, dude,
the plant will probably
cold
live.
air intake. Cold air intake will kill the fucking mites right away. They won't even make
first
babies.
thing it does is stop. The first thing it does is stop them from making babies, and then you just have to kill the ones you've got.
Yep. Cold air intake, man. If you have flower temperatures, like that's kind of why I like cool and dry environments, because if you have flower temperatures, I don't want to say this, and I'm not going to say this because if you bring a clone into your environment, you're going to have an outbreak. But assuming you didn't have an outbreak and you're starting from seeds, you're not going to have a problem with spider mites coming if you have flowering temperatures under 75 degrees. So it's a preventative too. IPM, you can dial in environment, and that can be included in your IPM, routine protocol.
Yeah, you'll get less flower
Yeah,
there. But it will survive the mites. But it's a true story, totally. As soon as I even jump from just 2 degrees from 28 to 30 C, much more chance that spider mites will come. Much more. Just that one. Right.
I did end up sticking some shit outdoors. It's all like re-veg shit though. I left it and they're big girls already, dude. I don't know if I purposely said, fuck this, I'm gonna cheat a little bit or what, but they're pretty. They're already in the tens. You know what I mean, and they're a couple feet tall right now. Right, and they're already, through the re-veg. Well, not through the re-veg, but they're in a good portion of the re-veg. So you're gonna have plenty of time to spring back and take back off.
I bet they do it quicker outdoors, man. Get a bit of rain with a bit of sediment and all that sun and a bit of wind. It was
just like you're saying, Green 13, man. They were pretty nice looking. They had nice color to them when they went out. But man, it was like fucking the next day, you could tell. And I even kind of said that in one of the plants there, one of the first ones I put out, the soil was, I thought depleted. I thought it had to have been more like senescence than flush.
Bleeded out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had thought I kind of, had pushed things in this in particular one. I had fucking, it was like a half cocoa, had a little bit of worm castings in there, and it had vegged in there. And at one point, I had top dressed with the dairy dew about week 4, and then watered that through in to kind of finish things up in there. And she yellowed right out. I thought I flushed her out pretty good because again, it was in cocoa, more cocoa than anything else. So I'm like, yeah, I flushed her out, and I was worried about it actually being already depleted during the re-veg. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that wasn't the case, man. I fucking next day, if not 2 days, I went out there and she was restoring back to like dark green again. And I'm thinking, fuck, man. And, here again, I thought I fucking depleted that pot out, and I ain't done nothing but just added water. You know what I mean? Just watered her back in. Because that's another thing. When you're re-veg, you don't want to fucking heavy nutrients and shit. You just want to barely feed and just barely even water.
Be kind, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but and nothing, added nothing, but just gave her a fresh drink of water because I knew carrying her out that she was pretty light. She needed a drink. But man, she, like I said, man, I couldn't believe how much she had greened up for nothing but a little bit of water and the natural sunlight. I was like, oh shit. Made me really
during the
question.
day when my raspberries have the sun directly on them, they yellow out a bit. And then as that sun moves on, they green out. Now, some of that I reckon is there's just that the light is shining through the leaf so you can see the yellow a bit more. But also, I don't think they can uptake as well. And they're a bit like, fucking hell, you know, those top ones. And so I do think there's a thing there with that greening out where it's like, oh, just right. Thank you.
Yeah, and unless there's specific varieties of raspberries that require long hours of direct light, I always thought they're like, I don't know, I think 5 to 8 hours of direct light is ideal.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I recently had some brand new soil, and then my soil guy had me send a test after a run. Now, weirdly, I've done a couple runs since then, but he forgot to send me the test results. So he sent me them. So I got to see what depleted looks like on a technical level. So the thing is, nothing was depleted. Things got moved out of balance. So there was plenty of nitrogen, but actually there was less phosphorus. And well, so things, when you're talking about depleted, it's so weird because it all happens in completely different rates. Like, and when you see the graphs and all the fucking figures, it's like, oh right, it just hardly took any of that, but it took fucking nearly all of that, and it took all of that, all the trace minerals are gone. So molybdenum and all that weird stuff is just like really low. But in the main, it is not at all depleted. It's just slightly the balance shifts on everything a bit. Or that was so, my perception.
You were gonna jump in, Red Pill.
I wanted to say, I even think that's a trait to breed for, because I've noticed that with plants too, like Eagle's saying, with the plants that rejuvenate faster. And I've seen plants that have a harder time doing that when, let's say, you did figure out the precise problem that was going on with the plant, and you do fix it and address it in time. The top growth kind of re-veg, but the growth that had damage already done to it doesn't come back. And then I was always astounded with plants that, you know, faded out, but then every single leaf from top to bottom turned re-green on it. And to me, I think that would be a trait to breed for, plants that have that ability to do that.
So this was my question to you, Green 13. Do you think that there would be a thing to where, you know, a couple rounds into a couple readings, you know, into the soil analysis, and you see that repeat itself, you know, that those same key things are being depleted in the soil? Do you think you'd be better off trying to, I know this sounds like the typical more attitude, but do you think you'd be better off adding what you needed and then a little bit of extra to, you know, suffice in case the plant needed it, and then to maybe try to stay ahead? Or would you be, do you think you'd be better off adding exactly what you thought you needed and then re-amending exactly what you think you amended and then needed another time? Is that how you would approach?
I can't wait.
Trying to stay ahead.
Your mind works exactly like mine. So obviously I'm having a conversation with the dude at EcoThrive, and it's a phone conversation, so we talk a lot, and like we're talking about this exactly this. And basically, I can't wait for the second set of test results, because the first set of test results are almost irrelevant until the second set comes. So you can see if it did the same thing again to the same degree, then okay, we got something to work with here. But in the meantime, it will get amended. But we will amend everything that's missing and probably a bit more. I'm probably going to ask him for a bit more, so that, because I don't like, it's only a small bed. It's not a farm, you know, like it's not going to cost any extra but pennies. We also discussed putting those trace minerals back in, but the only way you can do that is with unorganic ways. Now, to put it into perspective, you're talking about tiny, tiny amounts. So if he wanted to do that, he would have to take a mountain of soil and spray it with a really tiny bit of liquid all over to try and put that tiny bit of trace back in. It's so small, but it isn't organic. So you'd be not organic by replacing those crazy trace minerals. So we have all these weird soil conversations that are like, and he's like, would you be up for it? Because some of my testers are like, no, I will not do that. It's not organic. And I think there might be performance there, and all these kinds of weird conversations about re-amending, basically. But yeah, for a small bed, bit more please, so I don't have to keep doing it, because it will still be there, right? To my mind, it just won't have been taken yet.
Well, then you get the crazy factors of different strains that, you know, draw more shit. Basically, you know, you're only doing a snapshot of the strains you're running. And then, you know, if you continue to run that shit and change things up, man, you've throw things out of balance again. The next soil analysis may be completely different from, you know, sensitive strains that are longer running or just may pull more nutrients.
And it's never said enough. And some of the other work I do with that guy is to do with soil moisture. And every time we have this conversation about soil moisture, I'm like, at the tip of the probe, in this part of the soil, the reading was X, because the fact is, it's not a sponge. It doesn't linear take up liquid across the whole surface exactly the same. And it's everything we look at with soil. It's just that tiny bit you're looking at. It might be completely different 1 centimeter over, you know, it's like, it's such an irregular science because you're just talking about this one bit. And it's the same with testing cannabis. We talk about the top thing that's got the most crystals, and like, you know, that one tiny bit is 25%. So yeah, science is weird like that. We're mostly stabbing in the dark with a lot of stuff, soil-wise, because it's just that one bit we're looking at under the microscope. The anaerobic bit that we missed next door, it's got a root in it or hasn't got a root in it, or, you know, it's crazy.
I've been digging further than I want to speak on right now, but I have been digging pretty deep into some soil books and fungus. God, I've been listening to a lot of fungus books, but it's amazing. So much, you know, shit going on underneath our feet, in our pods. It's one of those things, man. I almost wonder, you know, I know I'm not better off knowing, but man, it's like one of those things. It's a whole nother world, a whole nother realm, a whole universe. Yeah. I mean, just
crazy.
And this
trying
links
to
us, 'cause
understand.
you gave me a book. You gave me a book to read, which is nothing to do with soil. But the thing is, the joy for me is to take the time. One of the things it says in that thing you gave me to read or listen to, as it is it kind of sort of says that it doesn't exist if you don't have a mind, then it doesn't exist. And it's sort of like, if you don't think about something, it doesn't exist. And I sort of love that.
I try to preach that a lot. Like, a lot of people like, hey, does the bottom...
You're stressed about this. Stop thinking about it. It won't exist anymore. Like, literally, it goes away. And it's a weird one.
There is no bottom of the ocean until you go and explore for it. It's not even rendered in our consciousness. It's not even there.
That's your fucking journey. I'm not. That's just. And so when I want to fill my mind, but not be constantly looking at my fucking Instagram, I can just think about the things we just talked about and the world you're talking. It's a whole world, and like, it's on me and in me, and like we talked about this before, if that's more important than all of this, we are just the fruiting body of the, you know, everything else that's going on. We're just another fucking.
Man, I was listening to Alan Watts last night, and if you haven't or never have listened to Alan Watts, he's an amazing philosopher. Uh, I had literally put on one of his lectures, rolled one, and fucking been like the end of the evening, you know what I mean? End of the day, and just been like, hey, you know, stumbled through YouTube or something, have it suggest one of his videos, smoke one as I'm listening to it, and it'll fucking set my mind on such fire. You know what I mean? The whole depth of the what he's saying. I'll have a hard time fucking going to sleep. It's like drinking a pot of coffee. It's like holy shit. And last night he was kind of touching on basically what you're saying right now, realizing, you know, that you know, why focus on little bullshit? You know, he was basically talking about you know, the whole process of the human body. We think we're in control, but I mean, do you control your heartbeat? Do you control, you know, the breaths you're taking? Do you control your fucking digestion? There's so many things going on right fucking here that you can't control. You know, even your thoughts most time. Most people can't even fucking control their thoughts. And then you're worrying about other shit that you can't even control when you're not even control of this. Let go. Let go. Just enjoy it. Follow your heart. You know what I mean? Forget the whole aspect of, you know, trying to control, you know, things around you and whatnot. You know, just lay back and enjoy what you're doing and be passionate about, you know, what you're doing.
That's
you know,
the definition of sanity.
And so conversely, you can activate things and make them important that you all weren't necessarily looking at. So it's like, okay, microbes or soil is a good one, but on my walk or whatever, I can do lots of stuff. But it means you can go, oh, well, I don't want to think about Instagram or the fact that my wife's sleeping with another dude she isn't, or whatever. Let me think about zoop, and you can put some focus into something that is like really important and let all that shit fucking, or not important, more interesting, another perspective, another realm. Yeah. Very fucking cool.
Well, there's a thing with Western society that says you need to knock that off and become productive.
Yeah. It's very, very bad for your health.
But I love Alan Watts. He's one of my favorites to listen to. I don't know if I asked you before, Ego, do you ever listen to Manly P. Hall?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Even though all his stuff is 60 years old or whatever more, it's one of my favorites to listen to. I love it.
Great stuff, man. A lot of
Gentlemen,
great, you know.
I'm going to give love and go and start my unproductive day. I've got so much to do that is exciting that I will probably get none of it done, but I'll touch a bit of all of it. Thank you, gentlemen. Great start to the day. I hope you have a lovely rest of the night.
Yep.
Peace and love.
Great day. Yeah, and you know, I think I'm going to follow him on that. All this conversation about, you know, letting go and, you know, letting the process follow your passion got me pretty fired up myself. I think I'm going to
it's something that
get my work done.
This is my inner dialogue. My own motivational speaker is my inner dialogue. There's, you know, things that are suggestive and put me in that state of mind, of course, but my own fuel is just where my imagination takes me. You know,
You know, that's the imagination. I've said this before, man. It's so important. It's so important. Without imagination, nothing gets started. Dreams don't get going. You gotta see it. You gotta see it. Otherwise, it'll never
I'm gonna,
transpire.
yep, I'm gonna shoot out. If you're trying to do your outro or shout outs, I'm gonna shout out everyone. Thank you to the chat. Thank you, Eagle. And I'll see you later.
Have a good one, my friend. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging
Yep.
out, my friend.
Yep, you too, buddy. Peace.
Well, that leaves just me, myself, and I. Hopefully, you guys have had some kind of fun, took something away from this. It wasn't one of them necessarily 100% cannabis nights, but it was fun hanging out. Some great conversation with some friends. I will call them friends. And hopefully you enjoyed. I know I always love seeing chat, communicate with themselves. And I am very sorry that I didn't communicate very much in chat. I tried to keep an eye on it, but I didn't see any red boxes. A few of them calling my eye over that way. But all in all, it was some great conversation tonight. Enough so to where I wasn't participating in chat. So that qualifies as a great conversation. Cheers to you, Big Dave. Thank you for coming. Dreamer 77 Double D. Might as well get the people that are here right off the bat. Mr. Nowhere Man, Christopher 54, Ancient Soul Grown, Can of Health and Happiness. Cheers to you, Dirt Road Dude, Worthy Buzz. You guys, all, of course, still get your shout outs, but might as well get the you guys that are here. GMO, Magma Seeds. Who else we got here? No Johnny Cannon seed tonight. You are missed, my friend. Aldrich 25. Rug Boy 7426. Cheers to you. Martial Artist 2012. If I haven't said you already, cheers, my friend. Big High 710. B. Born Orson. I know I fucked that up. Sorry about that. I believe you said who you were yesterday. That's I think state maybe. Who else we got here? Most you guys that are at least chatting. Captain 420. I didn't shout that one. Mr. Manny D. Cheers to you. Pets fan 420's Garden. Welcome. Cheers to you as well. Got to see Jamie Reed. Rob, of course. I'm sure John's in here somewhere. T. Barrington. Jamie Green, cheers to you. Teeny 101, it's nice to see you as well. Modern Genetics, man. Very much looking forward to hanging out with you, man. I need to get to an event to hang out with some of these great HIP Grower, cheers to you. Try to go back to these cards like that. I got all you guys. Oh, there's one right at the top. Stoner Dude. Cheers to you. See, if I wouldn't went all the way to the top, I would have missed. I see you playing. Cheers to you, Sir How. I know I didn't shout you guys out. W. Dickerson. For much respect to you, my friend. Yes, I did send that back. Dill. Love me some Dill. And thank you for thinking of me. You guys rock. Buddha Boy, you rock here, Chad. I want to steal your tagline, but you rock, my friend. Pick it right back up with that mark. I do enjoy some mark. Let's get rolling with this bad boy. Cheers to all you guys hanging out in chat. At least the ones that are chatting. I know the last time I looked, there's like 60 some people. I know I didn't shout out 60 names, but tell me right now, it's one of the keys. Not just everything. Well, it is one of the keys to everything. Be grateful for everything, every little thing, and it will multiply. Sub cool details thing, my law 7210 Scarecrow 420. I love doing this live, by the way. The bloopers, it can't help but laugh. Green Thumb Bum, Christina MG89, Unplugged 705, Medical McCully, Rick T, the Rebel, the 92207, Fabian, Selena, Dave's not here, Tom Spook, Great Walker, Mendo, Dope, T-Dog, Dung Beetle, Red Eye Jedi, Gross, Mother Nature, Justin Conway, Duckweed, Run Boy 7426, Justin Gooder, Strongman, Okie Grower 75, Corey Trevor, Michael Wallace, Small Vision 420, Who's Your Cat Daddy Taco? This YouTube in the commercial in the background. Don Slug, Rick S. in the bushes 827, James Seaman, Kevin Sean, World's Last Hope, Pats Fan 420, Biomentor, Dirt Road Dude, Kanashiba, Jose Ramirez, Red Eye Rustler, Dad Goblin, Dr. Buzz Lightyear, Astatoon, 710 Canuck, Canna Queen Genetics, Stabby Taze, Fumador, Dirtman Dan, Keith the Black Sales, Mr. Bosil, Zen Premium Gardens, Ross Bob, Rossi Jeff, of course, the EO crew Thursdays at night if you didn't recognize those names. Soiled Root, Small Tubes, Tyler, Frosty Buds, North Michigan Micro, Ouija Buds, Dub T Roy, Big Jar Gross, JC, Modern Genetics, SoCal Weedner, John Last, PPG 15, Green Country Grower, CJ Apple, Perfectly Imperfected, Dollar Tree Grower, T1 Productions, State Grower, DOA Grown Meds, Miss You Brother, Miss Nudie, I Gruesome, Johnny Candice, Nutrient Shootouts, Naughty Nikki, Zoe Slam, Zoe and Slammer, and then why? Pixel Monkey, St. Bernard's Observation Booth. Much respect to you if you hear this. Clover 420, High Spy, Aldridge 25, Miss Madam Cheese, Sue Moo Mo Grower, The Cannon Crate, Loki Grow, Sus, This Guy, Burton 79, Otis Hammer, Midwest Outlaws 31, Voodoo Ultras, Fresno Nerds, Cali Connection, Wolverine Grower, Big Jar Grows, Jimmy One for Life, Laid, Way Back Farmer, D Block, MMP Nations Creations, Amber Delonic, Psychedelic Warlike Artist, LD, Sir Shaky Rob, Big Day 420, Brett Window, Big Ed 1961, Manawai G3, The Green Click, J&K Triple G, Mr. Sprinkler, Brittany and Tyler T say Hope Farms, Lisa G, John, Be Too Crazy for You, BGWG420, Dr. Baldwell, Purple Thumb OG, Arthro, Sense of Media, Arthro, Just Face 420, Beast Coast Grower 420, Sir Howe, Trey Malone, Keep It Real, Egerton 420, Sub Zeppelin Audit Everywhere, BTWD Grows, Mr. Bingus, where you been tonight? Green Puffin Man, Alex, Boyka Jeff, Just Life, School of Crop, Cause I Love It, Green Mountain Grower, Southwest, Okie, Real 100, 212, Andy Man, Miranda Family Farms, Page Farms, Me All Flower, Ryan Henderson, Green 13, New Sailboat Wins, Kingdom Aquaponics, Indra, Michigan Native, Mary Jane Mad Gardens, Dreamer 77, Double D, Bad Bunny Nutrients, Mr. Green Pots, Mr. Green Nugs from 619 to 664, Spaniard Crew, Jones of the Girl, Papa G, Rose, Raz Amy, Drove Grows, Cass, the Grow From Your Heart podcast, Lily Luna, the Green Med Flock, Jeremiah Miranda's Lost Art, Mr. No One, LG 420, Giant Mike, Prometheus Soil, Jason Isom, P. Win, David Colby, Dave Colby, Mason 662, Scroggy Make Scroggers in the fourth, Goddess Grows, Kaylee Burrows, Chen Brad Family Farms, Polly PV Org, Kevin Chodry, Mike Honcho, J. Huggins, UDA, Greetrine Hunter, Coach Cloud, Joshua Steensland, Organic Horn Bloods, Warren Nelson, Cam One, Maine Mystic, Show Love Always, Kelly Stone, Texas OG, Chuck Norris, Sarge S, Claire Fresno, Happy Guy, Dan the Indoor Man, Gromies, Homies, Hamilton, Grown, Clip Smoke, Keystone, Camouflage, PA, Big High 710, Eugene Greenleaf, Ace True Hustle, Dead Fred, Dark Carlos, North Arizona Beer Girl 420, No Solid, Jesse White, Chastain Yeti, Introvert Genetics, Social J, Vixen Robin, Killer 8 Mo, James Buttercree, C Dub from NorCal, The Pharmacy Seedbag, Deadhead, Smoky 616, Curtis Mahan, Matt Myron, Morte, Rick Heyman, Stephanie Dore, Antenna Seeds, Fab Carries, K, Mike Rubles, Drew Bear 420, Maxi 751, Lawrence Gonzalez, Slow to Get Up, Stu Moon, Pop Code 719, Bake We Shake, baby, Old School, PWC Grow Buds, Laura Wash, Miss Weed Blunt, Old School Grower, Chad Westport, Honcho Grown, Florida Nugs, My Little Piece of Heaven, Pungent Sound Scenes, Goliath Grower, Richard T, Chrissy Wannabe, Mr. Slow, Hoop Spectrum Gone, God, Lori Hanson, Real 2,000 Years of Tradition, Mr. D. Connolly, Pimp Jam, McBody Face, Show Me Scat Squad, Fuck Google and You, I'm Going Well, Canadian Restore, Poor Dirt Farmer, Carl Wright, Zepner, Humble Farms, Tannery Farm, Seldom Seen, Old Park Gardens, Hell 9782, Skunky Packs, Martial Artist 2012, Micro Slave Hefner, Daniel McDizzle, this fucking YouTube commercial in the background, Medically Fit, KGB, Rich Robert, Mr. Green Fingers, Motherfucker Thomas, Rancher Close to Plenty, Monkey Balls, Andrew Chippy, Bobby Living Means, Trent Digger, Mr. Mac, Tony Lake Bologna, Will Bill Peace, Weed Peace, Tater Delicious, Minty Country Roots, Huron, Fire Genetics, Earth Creeper, Big Ray 420, Teeny 101 in the house currently, Buds and Hazard, Mr. Club 14, Bearded Beer Man Farm, 616, all up north, Max Screaming Ruby. These people were all here at one point, just like a tree carved in the Mr. Timothy McKimmons, Neo, Justin Beans, Chronic, Fat Belly Real, Jennifer Steele, Kimber 03, Turf Farmer, Jennifer, Shannon Stevens, Carlitos, Latino, Skater Country, Mr. Speed, Wolfstein, Fireshaw, Wally Walkie, The Goddess Grows, Kaylee, Ross Bob, White Feather Grows, Burnett Shrooms, Tone Grows, Dink, K-Man Grows, BX Gunner 81, Smith Dude, No Grows. Barely got that one out. Sean McCann, Jay Muggs, Dink Agenda, Wild Wakana Grow, Ball Dog, Huron, Canada, Wisconsin, Lewis, Paris Rock Fam, Justice Make 420, Ben, Fresh Grow, Driving Herbs, High Boy, Humilian Grows, We Be Growing, Australian Grown, Love for the Plan, Argo American, Smart Poker, Unfrozen Caveman, Hawaii Size, Surfcraft, Micro Gloom, Jeff Lowenfels, Mobius Grows, Tank Brownie, Dan D, Elliott, Harkins, Mystic Flavor, Forging Gardner, Overwater, Overkill, Seattle Steve, Shadow Warrior, Valley Green 514, Amelia Jensen, Oz Indica, Dr. MJ Kilgore, Brandon Ross, Matthew Gates, D's Bag, Strong Sour, Shotgun Willie, Dank Yoda, Jay Simmons, Sure Bro Goes, Blackness, Cool DJ Connolly, ATG, Light Aaron the Grower, Light 1978, Michigan Grown Buds, Your Boy Roy Boy, Delta 9, Jay McDaniels, Clackamas 420, Sinky Cola, still in sign for PFC Farms, Husky Garden, Sun Growth 707, J.A. Drove, J420, Cascadian Growth, Tito's of the Key, 4 Plants, A Weed Works, Captain Scrog, Skunky Buns, Hans Warrior, Jackie Young, Terry Live, McGaster Tempe, Annie N, D Urge, Green Jr., Leon from All Purpose Plus, Green Goose, 11 Smiles 11, Bindu Buds, Michael Rasta Plenty, 311 Mix Up, Kinder Grows, Evergreen Hayes, Chiefs Friend Tree, MM&J, Matt S.A. Ball, Dragonfly B, Justin Meadows, Travis Walls, Luckin Mike, Seattle Chronic Seeds, King Chronic, Titan from Blessed Coast Seeds, cheers to you, Shango Gas, Basso for Life, John Smith, Tommy Tricos, Oak King Raz, Pop Little Soul Roll, Spiky Palace, Oscar Green Jr., Matt Steelbird, Indo 11, Stephanie D, Shark Pulley 989, Von Brown, Sovereign Gardens, Stoner Nation 420s, Joe Y, Bugs 1313, Grower, Painted Lady, Frank Group, Jay Myers, Submit, The Chat, Mr. Manny D, Bag Seed, Dr. DGC, Jeff, Shutter 911, Dutch Grove, Scallywag 420, Skillable 1, Metagrower 1, Empire Raiden Co. for Growley. Congratulations on that new kid for Growley. Lost Leaf, Ian Mass, Danny Danko, B Bear 7, Alley, Noble, CK, Tom Trinidad, Looney Jester, Smoking With, Small Town, Tim S, Mr. Lazy, Raptor Grows, Rob, Automation is Free to Robert Hazelton, Dorp, Michigan Core, Double Tap Farms, Mr. Green Thumb, 420, 808, Rudy Crocs, Cannon Bus Driver, Hate Life, Kenny 710, Operation Grow, T Ben, Brew Nuts, Hammered Emails, Dr. Scrambles, VB Moonrocks, G8, App, Double J, Bio Green, Self Grower, Hanky Sanky 420, OG, KP, Ganja Nana, Your Mama, Georgia Joe, Roy Rodriguez, Speed Growing, Nature's Best Nugs, Killer Bee Grows, Ganja Wizard, Husky Gardens, Nut Tree 420, Dr. Food Soul Life, B, Bully 4, Life 420, the Jeff Roll 420, Doc Beavis 698, just Beavis 698, no doctor there, Dr. Franklin Booty, Goddamn Bay, Ted's Test, yeah, yo, the Griffin Fat Boy, Jack Greenstock 420, 420, Boone's Farms, Charlie Farms 420, nice to see you again yesterday, my friend, Aldridge 25, Smiley's Gardens had a headache tonight, and I hope you are feeling better, my friend. I understand that shit. It sucks sometimes. JD's Miss D's Nugs, Miss You, Smoking Grove, Fraser, Gronkowski, Twisted Roots, Faded Farm 420, Jeff Durowski, Genetic Memory Farms, Paul 420, Cameron, Mr. Bagsy, Jill Carter, Mystic Marks, Mystic Grower, Ginger Snap, CTE, Rose, Rick Wolf, DLP 2372, Ned Denver, Mike Denver, Sergeant Pep 420, Canton Trooper, Blind Cat 420, Blood Upkin, Tim, UKSIF 420, Buddha Boy, Devin Shipwreck, Medical MJ, Budsville, USA, Resurrection Prophet, Christ Martinez, Dankman 420, Dankman Dan, Red Set Farms, Good Luck, Tony Bell, Cheetah B, Most Hated Grower, the Major General 420 Army, the American One, W Digger 714, Sarates, Kinios, and the next Skies, Ready Hit That Hot Box, Chris Mertz, Ian, Save Robbie, Sergeant Live, Apple Fake Cam, Bigger Lakes Finest, Ridge Patch, Doja Moon, Southern BT Grower, Choose Medical, Jared Bear, Plus One Mushroom, Secret City, Pioneers, My Little 10, 20-foot-2 Spacewalker, Christian, 3 Mom, T. Barrington, Heart and Soul, Homegrown, Mike B. T. Dwayne, East Coast Will, Heidi Day, Galactic Garden, Sean Smith, Elliptis, My Natural Farm, Pacific Northwest Seeds, Roscoe, Paul, Lemon Hoko Trench, Rita's Juicy Life, 420, Grant Manual, Mary Bond, Simon Sizzle, 81, 9 Inch Colas, Chris Moon, DK Trades, Vision Creators, Guru, The Kind Brew, Cannon Nation, JJ Wires, Rob Wobbly, Sean Pids, Roadside, Rescue Ready, Roadside LLC, Notorious Nugs, Magna Seeds, Father and Son, Trimming Tutorials, WT Dank, Jose, Martin Perez, Doggle the Hut, 420, Moonfuck Chiba Man, GR420 Community Videos, Detroit River Rat. Cheers to you, my friend. I still love that pipe. Them lures I have not got yet to test, but I promise you I will. Luis Garcia, Michael P, AJ Everyday, Captive Audit, Chad Bob 13 was here last night. Maine, 420 Mad Grower, Cooking Scoop, Jay Kendricks, In for the Grill. Backwoods All Good, Salman, Sam, Adam Skankin, Chanel Simpsons, One Smoke Away, Ganja Roach, Kazoo, Aaron Burns, Room, Smith Lincoln, Stinkin, Angel Studios, MG, the 420, Road 10, Paul G. Elliott, John Fleming, Dakovich, 505, Paulie P. Seldom Seen, Elevated, Lenny, Organic, Sunman, Chiba Sunny, Jeff Papalak, Ricardo Sosa, Dan J, Earth Friendly, Farming, Candy Forest Farmer, Fuck All That B, Misfit Grower, Jason Line 512, Snake Eyes, Northern 4466, Jason Greystone, Stony Baker, MD, Stony Creek, Russ Zynek, Fringe Dweller, Tarzan, Superman, Old Man, Hermit Hash, Freebird, Mulgrower, Madigar, Simple Man. More fucking YouTube commercials. Survival One Time, Tim Blake, Golf Coach, Chronic Stink Fat, Palero. I know I always butcher that, and I am completely sorry. Howard Grower, Jen God, Jason Line 512, Steve College, Cod, Kendricks, Property Maintenance, Sharpie, The Island Hayes, Steve Speaks, J.R. Ream, Randy K, TCDR, Mission You, brother. Claire Killian, Wardrobe Farming, Randy Grande, Pit 1000, Ace Boob, 3223, Wake Up, Captain Freedom Bee, Puffer Smiles, 15 Digit, Missy Ganja, Moods, Hash, Fred G, Super Bob, Broski 808, Weekend at Bob's, K-Bag, Justin Station, Strong Sour, Organic, Zippy, iMatic 31, Honesty, K-Hell, Me All Flower, what's up, brother? Respect to you, Brett Boo, Todd Kendricks, News, K&T, Chris D, Two Sim, Folk Times Fold, Natty Dread, Barbara Matthews, Ancient Soul, Rome, Kevin Jiu-Jitsu, Can of Health and Happiness, Berserk 215, Lab, Low Cut, Edward Trenley, Mo Man and Meg, Braz Benchy, Helen, Huge, Janus. I'm finally getting that right. James T, Atomics Bloom, Miss Jill, Big Daddy LT Gardens, High Flyer, 420, Lobster Brush, Bro, Mother Tree, Maine, Red Pill, of course, was here this evening. Thank you, my friend, Rio Boy, Road Boy, Aesthetic, Shannon Gibson, Wuhan, Rick W, Comfortably Numb, What Smoke Away, the 840 Show, Richard Lamb, a Red Pill 710. Again, thank you, my friend. Cannabis Pursuit, Worthy Buzz, Logan Man 81, Oil Flower Podcast, Authorized Fake, Warren Dixon, Pink Lady Luck, and Mondo 420, surrounded by Keith Ferrari Farms, Fringe Dweller, Single Farmers, Happiness Without Guilt. Cheers to you all. I already did that side. Hell yeah. Richard Forbes, David Provenza, B4, Pete Funk, Nick T, John Reese. What about Bob? Prince Patty, Daniel Bergman, Green Puffin B. Dunkley, James Chung, Sarge Groves, John Wayne, Carolina Roots, Sister Golden Head, Deanna Dell, Dank Reno, Kate F. Gardens, Blank 1030, Choose One, Only Feet, Farmer James, Crypto Dope, Richard Lamb, HIP Grower was in chat tonight. Richard Match Bean, Dan Marino, Chronic Wonders, Sunrise Grow, Top 4 Genetics, Mo Vision 420, Can 2 Cannabis, Jesse Fisher, My Dog Nelly, Rooster Farms, Alex Hardy Gear, Manny Cropper was here in chat the other night. That was pretty cool all in itself. Cheers, Manny Cropper, if you see this. Daniel Gross, Folders, Michigan Grow Med, Sunrise Grows, of course, my baby girls, Lexi, Brittany, Coob, No Limit 916, Grumpy Toad, Alchemist and Cannon Mate, Soul Born Addiction, Ross, Joel, Alex D, Dirty Or Catfish, High Power, Thunder Dan, Propagation Station, John McDaniels, Lisa Marie, Sarge Gross, Blaze Daily, Pride Piper, Perpetual, Eagle Proud Warrior, Sarah Smiles for You, Frank Usada, The Dank Judges, King Kino, Kelly Maxwell, Captain 420, Stink Fat, What About Bob? Pop Shroom, John Gorski, Jen Doe, Dugan, or Dungeon Gangster, that is THC4, PTSDT, Barrington Honcho, Grown Swamp Cat, Polero, Polero Canabinka, sorry about that, best of because Mr. Manny B, Cannon Fiery, Full 20, AB Normal, Frank Guerrero, Bare Feet, J Brent 74, CK Brown Guy 420, Pachyderm, Burning Tree Maine, EA Gray Sun, Grown 207, Hydro Daily, Hemp with Gigi, Jamie Bream was in chat today, Supreme Grape, Sony Rockefeller, Caveman, Cannabis, Brew, City Sin, Midnight Roots, Dead Cynic, Knuckles, Michael P, Polly B, Quick B, Nimble, Bud Kilowatts, Michael D, Bo, 889, Hispanic Brothers, Vasilium Man, Joseph, Grace, Medicine RX, Keep and Chief, Hydro Daily, Concerned American, Cannabis 401, Freedom of Speech, and this fucking YouTube commercial for the fifth motherfucking time. Love you, YouTube. I don't mean nothing about that. Freedom of Speech, Dr. Jointsworth, These Streets, Ganja Sudoku, 710 is all upside down, Jesse Stevenson, Victoria, What About Bob, Sacred Gardens, Gus Grove, Slick Rick, 8 Pounds, Dave in St. Louis, I Move Watts, Gassing Yeti, Ed Britton, MN Grown, Uncle Elmer, Off Grid Turbs, Christopher 54, of course, in France. Cheers to you, my friend. I wish I could say it in French. Last Predator, Matthew SoCal, Sue, Illinois, Man Beater, James Proof, Dark Horse Genetics, Stoner Dude, Joel and Jen from North South Carolina, the gentleman over there, great guys. No, Mr. N Cry PTAB, 13, Leo Brew, Beyond Perfection, XX Elite, GPXX, Uncle Stoner, Crispy Treat Kitchen, Growers Paradise, LED Gardens, Iceni Clan, Decoy Bacon, Mr. Scotto, Fresh Baked One, J. Allen, Big Bob Grows, and there's a couple other names that were just hanging out here. I have been terrible about adding new names. Sorry, guys. Keep coming. I'll get you on the shout outs list. Who we got here? We have right here, Mr. Nowhere Man, Captain Chronic S, Sun Grown Seed, looks like Sun Grown Bag Seed, Growlicious, we can't forget, it is 207. Last one, never least. It is 207. You guys hopefully know the deal. This is the end of your routine, your day, your journey. Please get some rest. This is the beginning of your day, your Tuesday. Have an amazing day. I hope you guys sincerely have a nice day, a prosperous day. Take a few minutes, meditate, do something that fills the soul, do something nice for somebody. But I'll see you tonight. 11:30. Hopefully, I think I'm gonna go an early rabbit hole tonight. And I don't have a guest for tonight. I'm getting things back on track with some major guesses. I got Mr. Spriff coming for this 420 episode. If you don't know who he is, you will be greatly surprised with him. One amazing dude, very intelligent. I'm looking forward to hanging out with him. Do not miss that episode 420 on Thursday with Mr. Spriff. It's going to be a great episode. Among others, I've got a lot of great things coming up in the future. I keep giving up on you guys. I love this shit. Have an amazing day.